Yes, circulatory system, or also we can call it this cardiovascular system. Cardio, anything that related to the heart. Okay, your heart called this cardiac muscle, made up of cardiac muscle. Vascular, this related to the blood vessels. So circulatory system, it means to circulate the blood. It transports the blood all over the body cells. So it is a group of organs that gets blood around the body. If you concentrate here, we can find it, the heart, okay, and blood vessels, for example, arteries, veins, and we will take also a blood capillaries. First, the circulatory system consists of blood vessels. Blood vessels, it means the pipes that allow the blood to pass through. It looks like the pipes, okay? Heart, and the first one we will take it, which is blood component. We took with each other is one of the specialized cell, which is red blood cell. And you say to me, it's a biconcave surfaces and doesn't contain nucleus. 2, increase the surface area to carry more oxygen. Also, it is very elastic wall. It is able to squeeze itself. Each one of them is able to squeeze it. Do you know the meaning of squeeze it? Just fold it on itself. To able to move through narrow blood capillaries. This one is called monoamine. Do you know?
But he enters from, I think, his mom's phone.
Okay. Right. The second blood component, which is white blood cell. White blood cell, if you'd like to describe it, it is the biggest cell in the blood components. So when I'm asking about which one of them that's the biggest in size, so you have to tell me which is white blood cell. It contains nucleus or more. If you see this inside it, you can find this more than one nucleus. If it is compared to the red blood cell doesn't contain any nucleus, but the white blood cell may be contain nucleus or more than one. Okay, what is the importance of white blood cell? Is attacking microbes. So this is to take a point of protection of the body against microbes that will enter or attack the body. What about the third one? So if you concentrate well in this figure, if this is the blood smear or blood sample, we see this red blood cells. We can find them in a large amount, more than one cell here. This is red blood cell, and this is white blood cell, and also this is another white blood cell. We have small cells in between called platelets. This is the smallest cell inside, called platelets. What is the importance of platelets? If you have a cut or injured in your skin, you can find something from the blood comes, try to close this opening to stop the bleeding. This cell called platelets. So what is the importance of platelets? Responsible for blood clot or blood coagulation to stop bleeding. Now, after that, after the dryness of the blood on the skin, it will make something called scab. scab دي اللي هي بنقول عليها قشرة التعويرة. Okay, مع scab. It is very, very important. Why? First, it stops the bleeding. Second, it prevents the entrance of microbes inside your body. Again, all of your skin that ache keeps all the microorganisms outside. If you have cut or injured in your skin, so it's a good place for the invading of the microbes inside your body. But the platelets that made this cap on the surface of skin to prevent also the entrance of microbes inside your body. Now, if by mistake someone of these microbes that enter your body, the white blood cells start to do its job. So at the beginning, platelets try to make this scab. This is dry blood on the skin. Okay. First, to stop the bleeding by making blood coagulation or clotting the blood. Second, this clot, or this scab, prevent the entrance of microorganisms inside your body. All of these components are found in a liquid-like structure which is called plasma. Its color is yellow, and to help all of these components to float, and it transports digested food. We know from the digestive system, and the digested food reaches from the small intestine and reaches to the blood. The digested food, it means the importance of the food. All of the digested food is carried on plasma.
So the nutrients are
Yes, my
transported.
digested food, but please concentrate the nutrients, it will be a complex one. So it will able to carry just the mineral and the digested food, the simple one, because if the still nutrient will not be digested, not transported, because it cannot be penetrate the villi and reaches to the blood capillaries. So we need the simple digested food that able to reach us to the blood. Okay. So we have here a video. Give you the chance, kiddo, to see this video with each other.
Here is from www.makemegenius.gov. If you want to see more science videos, go to www.makemegenius.gov. Oh, yeah, it is free.
I am wondering, how much blood is there in our body? See here? See these 5 1-liter bottles? We have 5 liters of blood in our body. What is this half-filled bottle? This bottle is having half a liter liquid. When we donate blood, we only give half a liter. Yes, my big brother donated once. This way we save lives of others. Do you know that all the human body is made up of many small cells? Yes, you told me many times. Blood is also made up of many cells. There are 2 types of cells. 2 types? Let me show you. See this picture? These are red and white, but white is less than red. Yes, blood is made up of red and white blood cells. These are called RBCs and WBCs. RBCs and WBCs, what do they do? Red blood cells carry oxygen and white cells fight off infection and germs. So, white cells are like policemen of your body. They fight with dirty germs to save us from diseases. You are right. I also want to be a policeman like the white cells. I would catch thieves so they don't do any harm to people. I would call you a WBC policeman. Red blood cells, RBCs, carry oxygen white blood cells, fight germs. What is this high blood pressure? Sometimes I hear my father tell me that he has high blood pressure. High blood pressure? Oh, it means when your heart has to push hard. Why does your heart have to push so hard? Oh, when there is some blockage, there is an...
Please concentrate in this part of video. We can find something, its color is yellow. This is called the plaque, and we will explain later. But I need to concentrate on this part very well, because we took in the lesson of the digestive system and the food nutrients. Not allowed to eat too much fat, because it will affect your the heart disease. So it will affect the blood flow by eating lots of fats. So please concentrate. So you have to minimize the amount of fats in our diet to decrease the risk of heart diseases. Okay.
The arteries become narrow. So to push blood, your heart has to work hard. Yes, your heart has to work very hard to push hard so that the blood can go to your body. So that means high blood pressure on blood. That is why it's called high blood pressure. What is this low blood pressure? Low blood pressure? Oh, it means blood is flowing at a lower speed. But why is it moving slowly? When arteries become too wide, then blood flows slowly. So the body becomes weak because it's getting less oxygen. I have one other question. Do we all have the same kind of blood? Very good question. Everybody's blood is almost the same, but there is a difference in antigens. What are antigens? Let me show you one chart. Red blood cells in blood contain protein. These are called antigens. Oh, the proteins in RBCs are called antigens. Do we all have some antigens? No, not all have the same antigen. There are two types, A and B. We have either blood with A antigens or blood with B antigens. Two types of blood. No, actually there are four types of blood. How you said that there are only two antigens, A and B? Yes, but there are a few people who don't have any antigen in RBCs. This is called zero antigen blood. It is also called O type. So, few people have A type, few people have B type, and a few don't have any antigen. So, it is called O type blood. And there are others who also have both A and B antigens in their blood, A and B type. These are called AB type. So there are four types of blood, A, B, AB, and O. You're right.
Please understand it, يا شباب. Any problem in the video about the
No.
red and white blood cell?
هو ممكن حضرتك يصير هو
Yes, I can't hear you.
the meaning of the antigen.
Yes, يعني it's a kind of protein that carried on the red blood cell that differentiate between the different types of blood. I know this is extra information in the video. If you don't catch it, so no problem. This is extra one. If you got it, that's okay. If you don't, so no problem. Okay? Let us see, this is the structure of the blood vessels. We said it before, the blood vessels, it means the pipes that allow the blood to pass through.
Which I can't see the screen.
The highway system is used to transport people and materials quickly from one point to another. Similarly, the circulatory system has structures that transport important substances, such as oxygen and nutrients, through your body. These structures are the arteries, capillaries, and veins. The walls of arteries and veins have three layers. The lining consists of endothelium, a simple layer of cells. The middle layer consists of smooth muscle and elastic fibers. The outer layer is made of connective tissue with elastic fibers. Capillaries have only a single endothelial layer. Blood.
Yes, please concentrate with me about the structure of artery, vein, and capillary. Which one of them have thick wall? From the figure.
Artery.
Artery.
And which one of them the thin wall, which is vein? And the thinnest one, which is capillary, that's made up of only one cell thick. And all of its thickness is only one cell. So which one of them? Thick wall, artery, thin wall, vein, and thinnest one, which is blood capillary. Okay. The second comparison. This is the space that allow the blood to pass through, called lumen. With the white color, it means it's a space that allow the blood to pass through. Which one of them had narrow lumen, which is artery? Why we need it to be strong wall and thick wall with a narrow lumen to allow the blood to be pushed away from the heart? Because the arteries transport the blood from the heart all over the body cells. So we need its wall to be strong and thick, and also at the same time, which is elastic one. And what about the vein? We can find its lumen is a wide lumen. Okay, this wideness that able to receive the blood from different parts of the body and return it back to the heart. So if you'd like to compare between arteries and veins and capillaries, the first comparison, artery has thick wall, vein thin one, and the capillaries very, very thin, as it is made up of one cell thick. Second, the comparison about the lumen. Artery has narrow lumen and vein wide lumen that allow the blood to pass through. As the artery carry the blood in high pressure because it's attached to the heart. We know that the heart is the pumping machine that pumps the blood all over the body cells. So we need the wall of arteries that transport the blood in a high pressure to be thick, to be able to to stay healthy without any rupture or any explosion. Because if we join this vein to the heart, cannot able to transport it well, as it may be cut or explode. Why? Because its wall is very thin.
Returning to the heart through the veins after passing through the capillaries is under much lower pressure than the blood flowing in the arteries. Veins have thinner walls with less muscle and elastic tissue than arteries. Valves in the veins are like a one-way street.
Yes, please concentrate about this point. Is very, very important point. If you concentrate well about this artery, we can find this empty tube. But if you compare it with the vein, we can find that something looks like the gate. We have a gate in the vein. This gate allowed the passage of blood in one direction and never return it back. This gate called valve. We have a question in the exam ask about where we can find the valve. Where? In the vein. This is the first place we have, because we have another place that contains this valve. The vein contains valve. What is the importance of valve or this gate? It allows the passage of blood in one direction and never return it back. Okay, and if you concentrate well between arteries and vein, we can find a network of blood capillaries in between. So the importance of capillaries also, it connects arteries to veins. See, we can find this very, very small and highly branched one.
One-way streets are there to prevent accidents, and valves are there to prevent blood from flowing backward.
So we have another point. Here. Do you have your study notes at home?
Yes.
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 Yes. So the blood vessels, they are tube-shaped organs that carry the blood around the body. So we have arteries, veins, and capillaries. Okay. So the arteries, they have thick, strong, elastic wall with a narrow lumen. We said the meaning of lumen is the space inside this arteries that allow the blood to pass through. And they carry the blood in a high pressure. It doesn't mean you have a disease that's called high pressure, but because the arteries is connected to the heart, and the heart, it looks like the pump that pump the blood all over the body cells, so we need it to be pushed strongly to reach to every place in the body. Okay, and we have an extra this here, but we will explain it later next week. All arteries carry oxygenated blood, except pulmonary artery. Oxygenated blood, it means the blood with or carrying oxygen, and we will know later about the blood circulation. Veins, they have thin wall and wide lumen. Please change it in your study notes, instead of with to be wide lumen. Wide lumen. Please correct it. Okay. They return a back of blood with a low pressure to the heart. All the veins carry deoxygenated blood. What's meant by deoxygenated blood? The word of D, it means without.
Not dirty blood.
D, it means without oxygen.
It does not contain oxygen.
It's carrying a carbon dioxide, not carrying oxygen, but without or less oxygen and more carbon dioxide. And the extra point here, they have valve that allow the passage of blood in one direction. We can complete it and never return it back. The third blood vessel, which is capillaries, and they have very thin wall, this almost this one cell thick, all of its thickness is only one cell. They are tiny networks that join the arteries to veins. Also, they supply all the cells with their needs and take away its waste again. Okay. Let us talk about, this is the structure. If you concentrate well about the structure of vein and artery, we can find here in the vein, this is the valve inside it that allow the blood flow in one direction. Some of you ask me why there is no valve here in the artery. Do you know? Can you guess why?
Because the artery can take and give blood.
Because it's already
yes, because
it's already narrow.
So and so.
Because the artery gives the blood and takes blood.
Artery connected to the heart and transfer the blood in highly pressure. So this highly pressure that force the movement of blood and doesn't give it the chance to return it back because of the force of pumping the blood by the action of heart. But because the veins receiving the deoxygenated blood from all body cells may affect and return it back because it carry the blood in a low pressure. So why would there is no valve here in the artery? Because there is already force that pump the blood from the heart to all body cells. This force never give the chance to the blood to return back. But because of the vein, because it is a receiving tube that receives the blood from all body cells, so it is carrying the blood in a low pressure to make the blood return it back. But there is a valve here to just allow the movement in one direction and never return it back. Understand it?
Yes.
Got it? Yes, because we don't have valves in your artery because we have a force that affect the direction of movement of the blood and never return it back because of this force. But the vein, there is no force, it's just collecting. So to understand the pathway of the blood, so in artery, if you concentrate well, it started with letter A, yes? This is, so it transports the blood away from the heart. So if you concentrate well, away from the heart, so this is artery, okay? What about the vein? A blood vessel that carries blood in the heart, so the heart is a vein. If you concentrate the last two letters, I-N, got it? So try to make a link to remember the information. Vein, the last two letters is in, so it will reaches in the heart. From the heart is away from the heart, so this is artery. In the heart, which is vein. Try to make the link, the last two letters in vein, in, so it will be in the heart. Got it? Got it?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you know about the heart? What do you know about it?
It pumps
Heart
the
is a
blood all
strong
over
It
the
pumps
body.
blood all over the body.
Excellent. This is
And
its
it's a
job.
muscle.
Yes, it's a muscle. This all of the body's systems or all the body organs made up of muscles. So first, it's a hollow organ. What's meant by hollow? Hollow, it means
Inside.
empty from inside. There is a space inside it. Why this space is very important? Because it is able to receive the blood, so it contains the blood, okay? So it is empty organ to allow the blood to be inside the heart. And what about its size? The size of closed hand. Please, all of you, try.
The size of our fist.
Yes, what's meant by fist? It means closed hand. Please, all of you, close your hand. Each one of us, the size of the hand is exactly the same size of your heart. If your hand is small, so your heart is small. If your hand is big, so your heart is big. So the hollow organ in the size of fist. What's meant by fist, which is closed hand. So what about its structure? Please concentrate about this.
Miss, I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have to memorize all the passages from the heart and to the heart? Like in the picture above?
Yes, we will remember this, but next week, so don't worry about it. Okay. So please concentrate about the structure of the heart here. The heart is divided into two sides, right side and left side. When we write in the diagram, this is, I know this is your right hand, but this is the left side of the heart in front of you, because this is in opposite way. So the red one, it's the left side of the heart. So please concentrate about it. Your right is the left of the figure. Your right is the left of the figure. So first, the heart is the size of closed fist. It divided into two sides. Your right Your right, do you know the meaning your right? And your right hand is the left of the figure. As you stand in front of the mirror, it's the opposite in direction. But when I'm asking to label it, so your right is the left of the figure, so we will make labeling to the figure, not to your hand. Okay? So the heart is divided into two sides, right side and left side. The red one, this is left side of the heart, and the blue one, which is the right side of the figure. Why we color them in red and blue? The red one, we can describe it as an oxygenated blood. What's meant by the oxygenated blood? It means the blood with oxygen. What about the blue color? It means
deoxygenated blood.
Deoxygenated, it means the blood carrying carbon dioxide. It divided into 4 chambers. The upper chamber is called the atria, and the lower chamber called ventricles. So if we'd like to make this a labeling, this part, right side or left side?
Left.
And the upper chamber called atrium. So this is left atrium, and this is left ventricle, and right atrium and right ventricle. Okay, in between we can find something looks like the gate, as we said it, in the vein, which is also valve. And we say the importance of valve, it allows the passage of blood in one direction and never return it back. So when I'm asking about where we can find the valve, you have to answer by two points. The first place, which is vein, the second place, which is in the heart. What is the importance of valve? It allows the passage of blood in one direction, yani from the atrium to the ventricle, and never return it back. We can find here a wall to separate between the two sides of the heart. This wall called septum. Can you guess what is the importance of this septum? Or what is the importance of this wall?
Separates the oxygenated blood from the deoxygenated.
Can you imagine if there is no septum or if there is no a wall, what will happen?
They will be mixed.
Yes, so the presence of the septum or the wall to prevent the mixing between the two types of blood, which is oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So return back to the previous figure to know the labeling. So we have here this red side, this oxygenated blood, and the blue one, which is deoxygenated blood. Between them, we can find septum to prevent the mixing between the two types of blood. Here we have left atrium and left ventricle, and right atrium, right ventricle. In between, we have something called valve. This valve allows the passage of blood in one direction and never return it back. So read it with each other by. It is a hollow organ in the size of fist or closed hand. It has two sides, left side filled with oxygenated blood. It means the blood plus oxygen, and right side filled with the deoxygenated blood. It means blood plus carbon dioxide. These sides are separated by a thick wall called septum to prevent mixing between the two types of blood. Any problem till now?
No.
Sure? Okay. To complete it, it consists of 4 chambers. The upper chamber called atria. No, you miss, you said atrium. Yes, atrium with a U-M, I-U-M, it is called, it is singular one. But atria, it's a plural. Upper chambers, it's a plural one because we have 2 atria. If I'm talking about one of them, it is called atrium, as we wrote it here. This atrium, A-T-R-I-U-M, because it is singular one. Because we have 2 atrium, right and left, so it's plural called atria. Okay, atria as the receiving and collect the blood. And the lower chamber is called ventricles. Lower one, ventricles, as they pump the blood. Between each atrium and ventricle in each side, there is a valve that allows the passage of blood from atrium to the ventricle and not in the opposite direction, and never return it back. It looks like the gate. Okay? Repeat it again. Do you want to repeat it again?
No.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay. So we have here a video. The blood circulation, we will explain it next week, so don't worry about it. Where is the blood circulation? Yes.
Our goal for this lesson is to learn the structure and function of the three major types of blood vessels in the body. They're part of the circulatory system. They are arteries, veins, and capillaries. So, got the other out. So let's start with arteries. Arteries are the largest blood vessel. They have a thick outer layer made of connective tissue. They're also made of smooth muscle and endothelial tissue. This thickness supports its purpose, which is to deliver highly pressurized oxygen-rich blood from the heart to faraway parts of the body. It needs to be thicker to support that kind of demand. So next, let's take a look at the vein on the right side of the screen. So this structure has 3 layers of tissue, but the endothelial walls are thinner. So why is it thinner? Because the pressure from the heart has lessened a great deal. I'll put lower blood pressure. And by the time blood has reached the veins, it has lost this pressure and therefore actually has instead these valves inside to help catch blood as it may be fighting gravity, so it can help continue moving back to the heart. Something else that helps, in addition to these valves, to help blood travel back to the heart is nearby skeletal muscles. And skeletal muscles help the blood keep moving by contracting. So at last but not least, we have the smallest structures, the smallest blood vessel structures, called capillaries. So capillaries are important because they connect arteries with veins. How do they do this? Well, these tiny vessels web together, and they meet where arteries and veins meet to exchange oxygen, nutrients, and wastes for all body cells, either to come in or out. And these vessels are so small that red blood cells actually can move single file through them, and their walls are only just 1 cell thick. This makes it much easier to exchange materials in, let's say, your eyes, your kidneys, your bones, skin, for example. So at any given moment, about 30% of your blood in circulation will be in your arteries, 5% will be in your capillaries, and, you got it, 65% if you do the math, in the veins. Now, hopefully you can teach somebody else about your blood vessels.